Let's first turn our focus to what's happening in Karnataka. Netas continue to feign indifference on one hand, and on the other, more than 50,000 doctors in Karnataka are on a strike. And this medical emergency has claimed as many as 6 lives in North Karnataka. Private doctors are protesting against the Karnataka Private Medical Establishments Bill and are adamant that the contentious 4 provisions in the bill be dropped. In response to the strike, the House committee formed by the state government to look into their demands has accepted one of those 4 demands. It has now given its nod to remove jail term for doctors in case of a death. In case of a death, it is given the nod for remove jail term for a doctor. However, the doctors continue the strike for their other demands. Let's go across to Shrija, who's... All right, we'll go to Shrija in just a bit, but listen to some reactions.
Yeah, I think that we have to consider it and maybe talk to them and try to do. Let us see. I don't know what mood. We have our CLP meeting also. I mean, majority of the party, MLAs and all are going to talk on this subject today also there. So let us see what happens.
Sir, doctors who are agitating are now in dialogue with our Chief Minister. They met him yesterday. I hope things should get resolved. That's why SAM is trying to hasten the process of consultation and decisions.
Oh, this Congress legislature party is convened basically to take the opinion of all the legislators on this strike, which is the ongoing agitation by the doctors in the state.
See, that is their demand is there. They want to be safer side. We want to think about the whole people of the Karnataka. So we have to take a decision. We are waiting for the Assembly to take what steps we are going to take now.
And the Honorable Chief Minister has already assured them that they will consult everybody, he will consult everybody and take a final call.
But as far as their protest is concerned, some of your...
No, you see, their request is definitely under consideration, and Honorable Chief Minister has already assured them that he will discuss once again with everybody and take a final call on that.
The demands of the doctors is there. They should understand there has to be some regulation. The government of India has brought an enactment also. We have not adopted it, and we have our own act that was passed in 2007. We are bringing only some amendments to that. What is said in the Union list, this Government of India Act, by and large we have adopted that. That's all. But there is some regulation, and it is not against the doctors. It is not against anybody, but the establishments and these corporate hospitals, to some extent, to be regulated, that's all. But there was no reason for them to make a hue and cry out of this. When Government of India and many other states have done brought a regulation, what is the difficulty for them? If at all, if anybody violates, then only it attracts the provision. Otherwise, no.
All right, let's go across to Shrija, who's with us now. Shrija, help us understand this particular strike, because it's an extremely serious situation. We've seen 6 people's lives already being lost. What are those 4 contentious demands that doctors have?
Well, as far as if you really go by the first draft is concerned, according to the Karnataka Private Medical Establishment Amendment Act, now that spoke about if any patient dies because of the doctor's negligence, the doctor will be liable for that particular offence and he will go to jail. Now that was one of the contentions that the doctors were seen sitting on a hunger strike, asking the Karnataka government to remove that particular act. Now then we saw about asking the government to remove as well another point to be noted noted here is the redressal, in fact the grievance redressal cells, which will be set up by the committee, the House committee, where in fact patients can report to them against any doctors if found of any negligence. Now as far as now it's concerned, at this point in time what we see is nearly 6 people's lives have been lost, and doctors continue to protest, especially in North Karnataka and in certain hospitals here across Bengaluru also. The outpatient department is not functioning. Very recently, just about an hour ago, we did see how a meeting was held by the Association of the Doctors, where they discussed saying that nearly 600 private hospitals here in Bengaluru and across Karnataka will sit on a hunger strike until the government rolls back on the demands. Now, another point to be noted here is that the reason, the bone of contention here is capping of the fees. Now, that was one of the first reasons why we saw the doctors sitting on a hunger strike, demanding the government to interfere as soon as possible. Even after the winter session has begun, we don't see any improvement as far as this particular act is concerned. But all that we see at this point in time is doctors staying away from the duty while the patients are bearing the brunt of the government's fault as well as the doctors' fault, where they are sitting down and protesting. And then we also see that this particular amendment act applies only to all the private hospitals across Karnataka. There are about more than 50,000 is what we are given to understand across Karnataka, and they want also the government hospital to come under the ambit of this particular act, so that all are in fact responsible. There is transparency and accountability within the in fact the medical coverage as far as Karnataka is concerned.